Hello everybody, Bruce here with a video introducing you to connecting your PHP up to MySQL. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head into Chrome here and show you what we're going to be building here. And this is a display of all the students in the student database table called students. Now, I suggest that you go through Lab 6 before you even start watching this video, because in Lab 6 you're going to actually create this table right here. The next thing I want to do is I want to show you, I'm in PHP MyAdmin. I'm going to click on the Home button here. And as you can see, I have my CTech 127 Lab 6 database, and inside of it, I have a table called Students. And I'm on the left-hand side here. I'm moving my mouse back and forth. And here you can see all the data in the database table. Okay, so here's all the data, and here is where I'm displaying the data. So how does this happen? How do you make all of this happen in PHP? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a file that I created called mysqli_connect.include.inc.php. Now this is a file that you'll include in your pages that you'll be building in this class. And if you're going to be using a single database, you're going to have this file connect to that database, and you can reuse the script by including it in all of your pages that need that database. So let's go through it. I'm on line 4 here, and line 4 may be a little new to you, right, the syntax, but essentially we're using something that's built into PHP called MySQL, which is a database driver built specifically for MySQL. And the I means improved. Okay, it means that this is the improved version of the original MySQL driver. Now, on line 4, we're going to create a new database connection, and then we're going to be passing it in 4 parameters. The first is going to be the host name, and for now, you should be using localhost. If you are using a remote host, you may want to put the name of that in here, but I don't think anyone is. Then you want to put the username and password. By default, XAMPP has a username of root and a null password. Okay, no password for now. Don't fret it. Don't worry about it. You're never going to be putting production code up on the internets with root or a blank password. But forget about that for now. And then you're going to be putting the name of the database, and that is CTech 127_lab6. Okay, that's the name of the database. It matches the name of the database that you created in MySQL. Now that gets assigned a variable called $db, and that is the database connection, right? That's the thing that we're going to use to do different things to our database. On line 7 here, we test to see if there was a connection error. Okay, so we say, hey database, did you have a property, because this is an object operator here, and it's saying, do you have the property in you called connect error? If so, that means that there was an actual error, and we display it out. Now normally you have the script die or end, but hold on, we're not going to do that right now. Then on line 13, we're setting the character set that this connection is going to use to UTF-8. Okay, let's move on to the script itself. I have my HTML, heading stuff here, the doc type, the head section, etc. I am using embedded HTML here, so I can, you can't, okay, just for styling the table. On line 24, we include the MySQL connect.inc.php script right here on line 24. And then we start, again, another PHP block. And on line 28, we create an SQL statement. And that statement is saying, hey, select all the columns from all rows from students. Okay, select star from students. We assign that string to a variable called $SQL. We then take our database connection here that we established when we included, right, the MySQL underscore connect.inc.php file, and we're saying call its query method with the SQL from line 28. So we're saying, hey database, go and select everything, all columns from the table students, and assign that to $_result. Okay, so we then can ask the result on line 34, hey, you have a property called num_rows. Now, if we didn't get any data back, that means we're going to have no rows, right? You see this right here? So we're checking, hey, does the table in fact have no data? Because if it has no data, we don't want to display the table to the users of our page. And then we pleasantly display, there are currently no students to display. Message that's on line 35. If there were rows, right, that means that it wasn't equal to 1, that it was equal to 1, 2, 3, 100, 1,000, whatever it may be. Then we, in our logic, say, all right, we got data. Let's start pumping the data out. So on line 37, right here, we echo out an H2 with some text. On 38, we start the beginnings of our table. On line 39, we create the initial row that's going to contain the table headings. And then we have on line 41, right, this while construct that says, hey, $_result fetch ASOC. And you're like, what? What's ASOC? Well, that's saying fetch a row as an associative array and assign it to $row right here. Okay? So it's saying do this while you have rows and assign it to $row. So $row is now an associative array. And inside the loop, it's going to keep executing until there's no more data. And we're just going to blow out table rows and table data with the student ID, the first name, the last name, the email, and phone. And these are the column names coming from the database, right? And that's what's coming back here. It's saying, hey, do you have data for student ID? Pump it out. Same thing with first name, last name, etc. And then on line 49, we close out the table row because we're generating a row of data at a time in the table. And then close the table, and bing a bang a boom, you're done. You see that? You see that right there? The other thing we probably want to do here, and I'm going to do this on the fly and probably screwed up, is say, hey database, close. I think it's closed. Let me just test this. Go back. I always forget. Right? There it is. So it worked. And we closed our connection to the database. And I don't think there's any errors down here. Let's take a look. Nope. So there you go. And again, we close the database because we're done with the connection. Yeah, sure it can be used. It's not closed permanently. It's just saying on this page, you're done. You're done. So let the database serve another connection somewhere. Okay, so it's just like closing the door and saying goodbye. So what I suggest you do, and this code and the MySQL Connect is going to be posted in Canvas. Take a look at it. Hit the pause button once in a while. Connect it up to your database table and make sure you get it to run. You don't have to turn in anything for this. It's on yourself to make sure you understand everything that's going on in this code. All right, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know.